Okay, we'll share the recording with you. If you cannot hear me, please check your microphone. Everybody can hear me. Can you all hear me, please? If you can hear me, say yes in the Zoom chat. Excellent, excellent. Thank you for the confirmation. Yes, it's coming plenty. So if you cannot hear me, check your microphone. All right. So I represent Addo-Yobo Ghana Recruitment Agency. We are a licensed recruitment agency. A licensed recruitment agency. A licensed recruitment agency means we have a license. We are licensed here in Ghana to recruit you, people like you, for work, both in Ghana and abroad. So we have a license to recruit people like you, both in Ghana and abroad. Now, I'm sure those of you who had visited our website, you may have seen our license already. So our license number is PEA 0001347. That is our license number. You can find it from the homepage on our website. We were incorporated in Ghana in December 2023. In 2023, we began operations in Ghana. We are part of a bigger Addo-Yobo recruitment agencies around the world. And we currently have filed for 126 people from Ghana and Cameroon, actually, to recruit them to the United States to work as registered nurses and nursing assistants. Okay. We recruit exclusively for our partner, United Methodist in the United States. So for now, we are not recruiting for any other country, but for the United States. And even in the US, we are only recruiting for United Methodist. Now, United Methodist, whose parent company is called Chicago Methodist Senior Services, or CMSS, was founded in 1898. 1898. That's about 125 years ago, by a woman called Alice Hartwell, who sought to provide a home and care to older adults in need. Over the past 125 years, over the last 125 years, Chicago Methodist Senior Services have provided care, programming, and services to tens of thousands of older adults and their families. This link here will take you to the website of Chicago Methodist. Let me see if I can take you there. So just a second. Let me open the website of Chicago Methodist. And then we look at their history briefly together with you. Sorry, I have a terrible cold today. Once in a while, you will notice my nose is blocked. Please pardon me. Okay. On your screen now is the website of Chicago Methodist Senior Services. Chicago Methodist Senior Services. I encourage you. Thank you, Vera. I encourage all of you to visit this website and many other websites we'll be sharing with you as we go along. And read about our history, who we are, what we do, to give you a complete picture of what this whole program is about. But a bit about Chicago Methodist. So Chicago Methodist, 125 years. Hey, I said 125 years. So imagine that, 125 years. Where were you 125 years ago? Okay. So on their website, you see the history. It was founded by Alice Hartwell. That is Alice, 125-year-old picture. And this is the first building where Chicago Methodist was founded. And these are the first residents of Chicago Methodist Senior Services. So on the website, you see the history before 1950, how Alice started the whole organization. Then between the 50s and the 60s, how it was transformed. Then you have nurses coming up to support. Then in the 1970s, Chicago Methodists grew up. You read the history, what they were doing, who is doing what and who is supporting Chicago Methodist. You get all the information there. Then between the 1980s, the 90s, transformation that took place and the expansion of Chicago Methodist. Then check my volume. My volume is fine. I think you should check your volume. Okay. And the 2000s up till today, you see Chicago Methodist and what they do. Now, this organization began as a home for senior citizens, mostly people who are on retirement and who have been sent there to be helped and assisted. But it has expanded into so many things, into a whole gamut of organizations doing so many other things. Now, there is a unit, but Chicago Methodist now has several other agencies, and one of the agencies in Chicago Methodist is United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services, the one that is of most concern to you. That's what I'm going to talk about. The rest, you can read about it later. Now, about 45 minutes before the start of this orientation, I posted a video of our last orientation last year. That was facilitated by Rose Olicarpio. I pray and hope you watched it. If you haven't, you can always go back and watch it. Put the whole program into its perspective. Now, United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services was started by Rose Polycarpio 19, 20 years ago. And the goal is to recruit nurses, nursing assistants, physical therapists, lab technicians for all kinds of positions within the Chicago Methodist, United Methodist umbrella organization. United Methodist, or UMHR, is the healthcare recruitment service within United Methodist Women Services, a leader of non-profit service provided to the older American population in Chicago. Now, United Methodist provides staffing across the United States. Our team has successfully placed hundreds of certified nurses and other healthcare professionals since 2005. Most of the nurses we started recruiting to the US by United Methodist came from the Philippines. Philippines, because that is where the Addo-Yobo organization started. Our CEO, Rose Polycarpio, is a Filipino by birth, who some 30 years ago, a young nurse, like most of you nurses here, got the opportunity to migrate from the Philippines to the United States as a nurse. Graduated fresh from nursing college, went to the US and started working with Chicago Methodist, and had rose through the ranks until she became the director of nursing of Chicago Methodist, then later chief executive, of, and now chief executive of United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services. So most of you one day will also rise up to become important and very good people through our program. Now, United Methodist Recruitment Services serve non-profit clients. Non-profit clients. So we don't serve hospitals that are for profit. We only serve facilities, nursing homes that are for profit, non-profit. So United Methodist serves non-profit clients in many cities, suburbs, and towns, and continues to grow rapidly. A mix of Filipino and American management, along with our partner recruitment agency in both the Philippines and Africa, ensures that we understand the needs of our overseas workers who want to come to the United States and begin their dream. Now, when we recruit you and we finally get you to the United States, you will be serving a contract for either 3 years if you're going as a registered nurse, or 4 years if we recruit you as a nursing assistant. And within these 3 to 4 years, you have guaranteed job with United Methodist. And these 3 years is to serve a contract. I'll explain it down the line. So our healthcare workers like you sign for a guaranteed 3 to 4 year contract with the ability to continue for as long as they wish. You will enjoy full-time hours at a specific location. And this is key. You will not be traveling from one patient to the other. No. Our facilities are institution-based. They are institutional based. Our home care facilities are institutions. So you are not going to have experience where you're going to move from one patient in one home, in one town, travel to another patient in another home, in another town, or in another city. One specific location, nursing home, facility, or hospital where you will be working. So that is one. So you will enjoy full-time hours. You will also have free housing for 2 months. Free housing for 2 months when you arrive. You will receive assistance with transportation, will help you to get your social security card when you get to the US, and will support you with onboarding and ongoing contract with a dedicated and friendly service. We're going to help make your dream, your American dream, a reality. Okay. I can see a lot of chat on the Zoom chat, but none of them, all of them is to support somebody who is having a challenge with mind or something. Okay, but I can see majority of you can hear me loud and clear. Okay. So that is a broad overview. Now I want to share with you some testimonies of nurses we have recruited from the Philippines to the US. The Philippines, because as I said, that is where we started from 19 years ago. And we are new in Africa. As you can see, we began operations in Ghana in December 2023. So we are fresh here. But in the Philippines, I've sent hundreds of nurses. Okay, so I'm going to play this YouTube video where our nurses are sharing their experience. Okay, here we go. Where is the play? Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Isla and I am one of the people who was helped by the United Methodist Homes and Senior Services.
Now let me be sure you can hear it. Can you hear it when I played it earlier? You can hear it, yes, in the chat. Did you hear the sound? Okay, excellent. Thank you. So I'm going to start over again. And please pay attention. It's just about, it's under 2 minutes. It's under 2 minutes video.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Isla and I am one of the people who was helped by the United Methodist Homes and Senior Services. Last 2018, members of the United Methodist Homes and Senior Services came to our college to extend some financial support to nursing students who are about to take the Philippine Nursing Licensure Examination. And I was one of the lucky recipients in our batch. This act of kindness was indeed a huge help to me and to my classmates because it helped us to finance our other expenses that were needed in our examination. And thankfully, majority of our batch passed the said examination and we are now registered nurses. I really respect and trust this organization because of their generosity and commitment in helping people. The scholarships, the grants, the financial assistance that they provide has expanded opportunities that are available to enhance the lives of the next generation. Through their support, I was able to accomplish things that I never thought was possible. They helped me to achieve my American dream. And I am really proud to say that I really work hard to be where I am right now, working as a registered nurse here in the United States, and I certainly could have not done it without them. I hope that the United Methodist Homes and Senior Services will continue to pave ways to make more dreams turn into reality.
Okay, so that is one nurse, a young nurse, that was recruited and sent to the United States. If you listen carefully, United Methodist Aguinaldo in the Philippines supported her in getting, in fact, there we have all manner of programs. We have scholarships, we support nurses to write a licensure exams. We support, we have awards we give to nurses after their licensure exams, all manner of schemes to support nurses in the Philippines. In Ghana, we hope to bring some of these things here. When you visit the United Methodist website, you will see a lot of some of these opportunities and other programs we do in supporting nurses, all with the goal of eventually recruiting these nurses to the United States after their program. Okay. Now let's go back to my slide. There's a second video, but I will jump over that. Now, did you all have the time to watch the orientation done by Rose? Were you able to watch it? I posted it on the WhatsApp chat. Okay, good. Quite a number of you watched it. Vera says no. Vera, why didn't you watch it? Okay, Priscilla says couldn't finish. Okay, so I'm going to play just portions of it, key portions. And then I'll come back and then highlight the key areas. You can always watch it over and over and over again. But I want to play some key portions I need you to pay attention to. Because most of the discussions will be centered around those areas. Just a second, I want to pick the right video. Okay, so let's see this.
Established because it's a very nice program. It's
okay. So at this point, Rose was talking about her work she does. Let me jump that a bit. On your screen now is the Aguinaldo Recruitment Agency, our office in the Philippines, Manila.
prior to COVID, we are sending nurses to UK also, and we hope to do that with our Ghana agency at some point so that we can send nurses to UK and also US. These are some of the pictures. That was last year. I wasn't able to upgrade it, but I pick them up at the airport. There's 25 of them. Every month we get like 25. But since December, January, and February, it kind of slowed down because of the effect of COVID. We weren't able to do much of recruitment during COVID. So it takes 2 years for them to be able to come. So now we're feeling the need. This is in our building in Chicago. That's me there in blue. I like blue. And we partner with universities in the Philippines. Every year I get invited to either become the speaker or the inspirational speaker, they call it. So these are some of the groups that graduated last April. And another university. This one, they have like 287 graduates. And this one, it seems like it's the same, 200 plus. So about Chicago Methodist, this is the parent company of United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment. We have been in operation since 1898. We are a nursing home, but we also have rehab. We have low-income housing. We have dementia facilities, Alzheimer's facilities. We partner with IT company. We own part of it. And then this recruitment service, which is called United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment. These are just some of the services that Chicago Methodist Senior Services provides. It's based in, of course, Chicago. That's the building. It's a small building. And the other services, there are several buildings around the area. So it's north of Chicago. Seems like we had a car show at this time last year. A picture of Chicago, this one. Chicago is right around the lake, the biggest lake in the US. It's a beautiful city. And if you are single, nightlife is good. But if you like outdoor, there's also a lot of outdoor activities here. Now, I want to talk about United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment. It's the division that recruits nurses. It was, I did created or established this in 2005. And it is a staffing agency. Right now, we are in around 20 states. You can take a picture of that if you want. I'm not gonna mention any of this. And then we also partner with similar nursing facilities. All of these facilities are non-profit. Some of them are religious organizations. Some of them are government organizations. And most of them are nursing home facilities. We do have a few hospital. So these are the names of the facilities. You can also, take a picture and maybe just check their website, but please don't send your application to them. Otherwise, they will be upset with us for giving their names, and because it's an added responsibility if they get the applications, and they will be forwarding the applications to us anyway. So just so you can check the website and find out how big it is, what are the where is it located. Okay. So this is in 20 states. It's scattered all over the US. A picture of one of the facilities. This is one of the smallest facilities. This sits in a big campus. Most of them are in like 20 acres or 50 acres of land. This one is in Licum, Pennsylvania. This is a huge university campus. I just took one of the buildings, but they have their own radio and TV station, and they have assisted living, they have hospital, they have university, they have their own police station. They own the whole community. So they are a partner of the recruitment. There are 4 partners of this recruitment agency. United Methodist, this one, Plymouth Place, and one in Wisconsin. This is another facility in Connecticut. Just want to show you how big it is. It's in a big campus, and most of the facilities are like this. Several buildings. Sometimes some buildings has 4 restaurants in the campus itself. 4 restaurants, and they serve their own people. We don't own them. They are our partners. Okay, I just want to clarify that. Clients or partners.
How well can your new hires manage their time? Good time management helps employees to be more efficient, more productive, and perform better at work. With Test Gorilla's time management test, you can easily find out which.
Okay.
So now that you've seen those pictures, you're probably thinking, oh my God, are you excited yet?
Okay. So that is one spot of the last year's orientation I needed you to pay attention to. So you see the structure of United Methodist in Chicago and around the United States. So we are not just recruiting for United Methodist and Chicago Methodist, but partner organizations spread across 20 states in the United States. And every month, we have nurses from around the world going to the US on our program. Not from Ghana yet. We are now starting in Ghana, from other countries to the US every month, going to the United States. We pray one of these days, it will be your turn to go. Just one of these days. Okay. All right. Now, with that at the back of your mind, one second. Okay. Oh, I think I have a bit more video to show you. The question now is, when I go to the okay, how do I get to the US? And then when I go to the US, what will be my working condition like? I'm sure that question is on your mind. Let's see if we can answer that now. Okay, trying to play one of those videos. Let's start with who qualifies. the qualification you need to have to be recruited. And then the documents you need to produce or provide. Who is sharing the screen? The person sharing your screen, please stop sharing. Thank you. Okay. Excellent. Now let's see.
These are owned by not-for-profit companies, owned by religious organizations, and they are top-notch. They want the best nurses, not really the best in skills because they can train them to become the best nurse, but positive attitude. That's our number one requirement. Positive attitude. Motivation. There's a lot of room for moving up. So we want these nurses to be motivated and really wants to take care of these patients or clients. I forget to mention that most of these facilities, because they are not for profit, the clients are paying privately, and they pay between $3,500 to $10,000 a month to stay in these facilities. Whoa. So they expect the best care.
Yes.
The best care.
That's right.
And so the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit is that for nonprofit, the goal is quality of care.
That's right.
For not-for-profit, they have that goal, but it's not the top goal.
That's right.
They want to make money first.
Yeah, money first.
But money first. But for us, because the money doesn't go to one person's pocket, it goes back to the facility.
Yes.
So they want the best. And plus the target population is the high end. You will be taking care of patients who are government officials, bankers. I took care of Nancy Reagan's best friend.
Whoa.
So when Nancy Reagan, when President Reagan died, they sent a limousine.
Wow.
And a private jet to pick her up. So I had to pack. Lily, that's her name. I had to pack her things, and I had to take her to the limousine with her luggages.
Wow.
I was the one who accompanied her. I took her to the White House. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
And yeah. And then I also took care of, are you familiar with the Hormel's pork and beans? Hormel's pork and beans. It's a canned pork and beans.
Okay.
It's a big brand here in the US. The owner or the wife of that Hormel's pork and beans was also my patient. I know. Can you imagine they send their people to nursing home to be taken care of?
Yeah.
And she lives in a mansion. She lives in a mansion, but they brought her to our facility. Our facility, one of the facilities, they have everything in there, you know.
Priscilla, did you say no sound? Can you guys hear the sound? If you can hear the sound, say yes. Okay, so Priscilla, please check your microphone. Thank you for the confirmation.
Jacuzzi, their own living room and bathtub, and they don't miss anything from their house.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
they still have all the luxuries, plus nurses, plus assistants when they need one. So anyway, those are the expect to take care of those kinds of patients. So we also want you to have a license in Ghana, because that's a requirement to take the exam in the NCLEX exam or the CGFNS exam. If you want to take the NCLEX, we do need the NCLEX to file the petition for immigrants visa. You must be an IELTS passer to be able to get your visa screen certificate. So there's two things to get your visa screen. You have to have NCLEX and IELTS, or CGFNS and IELTS, and then you can apply for the visa screen certificate. We prefer that you have 2 years experience. However, if you don't have experience right now, because of the waiting time, you will have time to get your experience while waiting for the departure. Okay, you have a chance. And of course, the complete documents, which I will show you in the next slide. These are the documents that you need. You can take a picture of that too. It's not much. The only difficult thing that you probably need to get is your NCLEX or your CGFNS. Now, if you decide to take the CGFNS, once you arrive in the States, because you're not an RN in the States, you will not be able to work as a nurse. But while preparing to take the exam, you can take the exam in the US, but while preparing to take the exam in the US, you will be able to work as a nursing assistant. Some states allow the nurses to take the exam without going through the course. You just give them your nursing diploma or transcript of records, and then they will allow you to take the exam, so you will have your certified nursing assistant certificate, because you need that to be able to work even though you're already a nurse. Okay, passport, birth certificate, marriage certificate. Well, if you are not married, don't rush to get married. Only if you have one. Because if you're single, once you arrive in the States, I mean, you will enjoy your money. Signed contract, we will provide that. The ETA form, it will be provided to you once you're ready. So I want to talk a little bit about the types of visa, just briefly, just so you know what we are filing for you. Tourist visa, this is not what we're going to file, because we will never be allowed to work as a tourist. Even though you're already in the States, you will still need to file the immigrant's visa for the government to give you the Social Security. There's another visa, the working visa, but this is only for management position. There has to be an open position, like a manager, director of nursing. You apply, and then if you qualify, we can file the working visa for you. And this takes like 3 to 6 months. You will be able to come to the States. Once you are here, we will be able to file the immigrant's visa. because this is only for 3 years, renewable another 3 years. And if you don't file your immigrant's visa, then you will have to go back home. Excuse me 1 second.
Okay, so whilst we wait for Rose, a few of you have your microphone on. Kindly off your microphone so that you don't disrupt.
Okay.
Right. Rose, you can continue.
All right. So now what we are going to file for you is called immigrant's visa. There are 2 kinds of immigrant's visa. One is EB2, and these are only for healthcare workers. EB2 is also for permanent resident or green card, but this is also for management. So if you're a manager, we can file the immigrant's visa. And this is the one that we use for physical therapists also. If you don't file your immigrant's visa, then you will have to go back home. Excuse me 1 second.
Okay, so whilst we wait for Rose, a few of you have your microphone on. Kindly off your microphone so that you don't disrupt.
Okay.
Right. Rose, you can continue.
All right. So now what we are going to file for you is called immigrant's visa. There are 2 kinds of immigrant's visa. One is EB2, and these are only for healthcare workers. EB2 is also for permanent resident or green card, but this is also for management. So if you're a manager, we can file the immigrant's visa. And this is the one that we use for physical therapists also. Sometimes this has more visa available, and if you're qualified, we can file this. Or if the EB3 is current, what they call, there will be a lot of terms that I will be using, but you can take a note of those and ask later. I will be able to explain to you. So the EB3 is the visa that we will be filing for you. It's called Immigrant's Visa, Permanent Resident Card, or Green Card. And there are two kinds of EB3. You can file this. EB3 for family-based, if you have family members in the US, and they file a petition for you, they use the EB3. And there is an employment base. We are offering you a job, and so it's called, that's why it's called employment. We are petitioning you, work for us under an employment-based petition. You are not our family member, but you will be our employee. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about these steps briefly, so you have an idea. And wait. Okay. So once you have your NCLEX and your IELTS or visa screen, well, we can wait for the visa screen certificate, okay? Because they don't need that on the initial stage. The only thing that immigration would need on the initial stage is your NCLEX. So once you have your NCLEX, we file. It would take around a month or 2 months for our lawyers to prepare all the documents. There are fees that needs to be paid, documents that we need to provide. So it takes a while. Once we file your petition, we will get a receipt from immigration saying, okay, we received your petition, here's your receipt. And you wait for the approval. It takes 6 to 8 months for the approval. Once you are approved, then you can probably put up a party. Because, yes.
You're there, you're almost there.
You're almost there, 50%. Right. You're 60% already. Because they cannot take away. Once they approve, that means they already allowed you to come to the US, right. Except that you have to wait for the visa. Yes. And that sometimes is tricky, because sometimes there's a lot of visa, sometimes it depends on how many people are applying. So if so many people had applied, you know, they can only give a few numbers every year. So if every year they're giving one, let's just say 500, and you are one of the first 500, then you'll get the visa. But if you are on the 600, then you have to wait next year for the visa to be available. All right. So once you have the approval, and once you get the receipt, you can go to the website and check the status of your petition. They already have your name there, and it would say, okay, in progress, lacking documents, or whatever it is. you will be able to find it in the website. So once a visa is available, they will send you another letter, and they will ask you to pay for your visa fee. It's $400 or $380 or $420. Sometimes they change it. I believe right now it's $420. So the visa application fee, once you pay that, this is for each. If you have a spouse, you have to pay for the spouse, the children. That's you can, and whoever is in your, if you didn't want to bring your spouse, you don't have to pay for them. So only the ones that you put in your petition, okay? And then once you pay that, then they'll send you another notice, the interview. And this is the most exciting part. But before they schedule your interview, they will ask you to go for your medical. And they only have one, they only trust maybe one or two hospitals to do their medical. I'm not sure which hospital in Ghana is doing that. So they will put that in the letter. And once you are done with your interview, we will help you with the questions, kind of coach you, how you present yourself. And then 2 weeks after that, they will give you your visa. When you go for your interview, they will not give you back your passport. They will keep it. They will mail it to you. And once it's mailed, the stamp, the visa stamp is already there. And be very careful in opening, because there is something in there that you will not be able to open. It's for immigration. So anything, any letter that comes, read it before you open, okay? So you will be going to the States. We will pay for your airfare, but your family will stay for 2 months, 3 months, or until you get your own housing. Let's see.
Okay. So I'm sure by now you are getting the picture. It's a very informative, very educative orientation we did last year for those applicants like you. Took our time to explain the whole process, the procedures, and what have you. You're going to get a lot more of it as you go along the program. And therefore, as I told you from the beginning, I shared the link to that orientation on the WhatsApp page. The interview tools 2024 WhatsApp page. I posted it there this afternoon. Take your time, watch it over and over and over. You get the whole concept. Okay. Now, everybody that is on this Zoom call today, you got an email. I mean, you first took some assessment test, you passed, then you got an email to present some documents. Some of you got back to me and said, "Sir, are those documents necessary?" Yes, they are. Without them, we cannot file for your green card for you. Therefore, you need to get those documents. We need those documents for us to schedule you for your interviews. Without those documents, we cannot schedule you for your interview. Should you have a problem in getting those documents, please let us know in time. Don't wait till the last minute. Now that you have passed your assessment exams, the next step is for you to be interviewed. And that interview is going to be conducted on Zoom. Now, I'm going to share with you a few tips on how to prepare yourself for that interview. Because frankly, majority of you here have no idea what Zoom interview is about and how to present yourself and prepare yourself for the interview. Okay. Now, a common courtesy for every Zoom meeting is to mute your button. It's a feature on Zoom. So on your Zoom screen now, on the tab on your screen, you see a number of menu icons. You see mute, you see stop video, security, participant, chat, new share, depending on the device you're using. If you are using a laptop, you should see all that I mentioned. If you're using a cell phone, you see some, you will not see all. From now until the date of your interview, please start practicing how to use Zoom. The interview will be conducted on Zoom. Learn how to use it. The mute button, so Zoom has a feature where you can mute your audio. This is a great feature to use while your interviewer is speaking for long periods. At the point in the interview, your interviewer will be telling you a lot of things, giving you some information. During that time, you mute your button. While using the mute button, they cannot hear anything on your end. This is useful when there are a lot of loud sounds in your household, such as dogs barking or children playing. This afternoon, most of you came to the Zoom meeting with your children crying, making noise. Some were either in the office and screaming and shouting at the top of their lungs. You cannot do that. You will fail the interview if you do that. You will fail the interview if you do that. See, this is how Zoom meetings are seen. They are seen like an official meeting where you go into a meeting, go like a boardroom meeting, the door is shut and everybody is concentrated on the meeting. So when you have your children screaming, I mean, it's so disgusting. Please, let's learn to be a little civil when we come to the Zoom meetings. Okay. Now, remember to unmute yourself when you are ready to speak. If you mute your microphone and you don't unmute, whatever you say will not be heard. So learn how to do mute and unmute. You can use the button or you can use the space bar. If you know the space bar on your keyboard, on your laptop or desktop, space bar can mute and unmute. It's a beautiful feature you must learn how to use. Now, look into the camera while speaking. During an in-person, that is face-to-face interview, maintaining eye contact with your interviewer is a sign of confidence and respect. Video chat makes this a bit different because if you were to look into the person's eye on your screen, it may not look like that on the interviewer's end. Instead, look into the the camera as you are speaking. So for now, I'm looking into the camera on my screen. And when I look into the camera, don't you feel that I am looking at you? You see, I'm looking into the camera, but it presents the illusion as though I am looking into your eyes. Okay, so remember that. Please remember that. It's very, very, very important. During the interview, look into the camera on either your phone or your laptop or your desktop computer. Look into the camera. We have had people fail the interview because during the interview, especially when the question has been asked and the person is answering the question, they are either looking at the ceiling or they are looking at their foot, counting their foot. Please don't do that. If you're answering the question and you look at the ceiling or you look at your foot, it's a sign of no confidence. Please remember that. Okay. So that is for looking into the camera. Now, choose a professional background. Choose a professional background. In today's orientation meeting, when I look at your background, oh my God, you cannot sit where you are now. Most of you, to have the interview done, you will fail the interview. So when setting up your computer, choose an area that is tidy and free of clutter. Make sure your background is sparse rather than busy and only has professional looking items in the background. Setting up in front of a blank wall or a few tasteful decorations shows that you are organized and pay attention to detail. There is also the option to take advantage of, one option is the Zoom virtual background. You can do a Zoom virtual background, choose a beautiful background for your Zoom screen. Otherwise, blank wall or in front of a nice colors flower, beautiful, excellent. Hey, Hamdia says he cannot hear me. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, say yes. Hamdia, if you cannot hear me, it is a problem with your microphone. Everybody here says they can hear me. So check your microphone. Oh, and that's one more thing. One of the things, test your device, test it several times before the day of the interview. People will come to the interview prepared, nicely dressed, ready. Then on the day, they cannot hear a sound. Their internet connection is poor. It disorganizes your interview and destroy your future. Check your device before the day of the interview. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so get a professional background. Find a brightly lit room. Your interviewer needs to be able to see your body language and facial expressions during your Zoom interview. Choose a room with a good lighting so they can easily see you. Setting your interview space facing a window that lets in a lot of natural lighting. It's a great way to make yourself more visible. Setting up with a window behind you can cast a shadow, and cast shadows on your face and make you appear to look like a silhouette. So look at the way I am set up. I'm sitting by a window. So to my left is a window. There's a bright light letting in. You can see my face, everything nicely. But if I should sit in front of the window and the window casts a shadow on my face, let me see on this Zoom call who has such good. Mandela Adams, let me unmute your microphone for a minute for this little demonstration. 1 second. Okay, Mandela Adams, please unmute your microphone.
Yes,
Hi.
sir.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Where are you connecting us from?
I'm from Koforidia, Eastern region.
In Ghana. Okay. So a short while ago, you were sitting in front of your window and we couldn't see your face clear. Now you have changed your position. We can see your face clear. That is perfect. So on the day of your interview, you need to sit in front by the window so that the light will show on your face nicely.
All right, sir.
Now I need everybody to try your microphone. Most of you, sorry, not your microphone, mute your microphone. Now I want you to on your video. I want to see everybody on your videos camera and let me see. Everybody on your video camera. Okay. Okay. I still have some of you who are yet to, let me see, on your video camera. Excellent. That is great. I can see all of you. Can you all see me? Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Dennis. Dennis, good afternoon. Dennis, good afternoon. Okay. Excellent. I can see all of you. That is great. Now, I need all of you to turn off your video cameras. Turn off your video cameras. Everybody, turn off your video camera. Okay, so somebody has two devices connected to Zoom and they are close to each other. We're getting feedback. Okay, good. So that is how you on your camera and you off your camera. It's simple. Okay, very simple. That is great. Now remember, during the interview, your camera must be on throughout. During the interview, your camera must be on throughout. The interviewer see you. Okay. Now that I ask you to, why have you unmuted yourself? I had to mute all of you again. I'm muting all of you. Thank you. I will have some peace and quiet around here. Okay, so choose a brightly lit room. Choose a brightly lit room, and I have explained that. So please remember that on the day of your interview, has to be in a brightly, pick a quiet space. Choose an area that is quiet and free of distractions. This way, your interviewer can direct their full attention to what you have to say. A room where you can shut the door is an ideal space to interview. Limit other noises by closing windows and turning off your music or television. Practice a call at the same time of day when your interview is. If you are not normally home at certain hour, you may not be aware of potential noises from nearby traffic or neighbors. So pick a quiet place, no interruptions, no distractions, no dogs barking, no children screaming and shouting. We don't want to know how many children you have in your home. Okay. Next, silence your phone. If you are using a laptop for the interview, silence your phone. We prefer you get a laptop or a desktop. But if you don't have a laptop or desktop, you can use your cell phone. Please make sure during the interview, nobody calls that phone. Otherwise, it will cut off and your interview would have to be suspended. So, laptop, desktop, tablet, great. Make sure no phone calls. If you are using a cell phone, maintain your focus. While your interviewer is speaking, keep your eye on the screen like you would in an in-person interview. Show them you are paying attention. Remember I said, look into the camera. Okay, you are paying attention through active listening. You can do this by affirming what they say, by nodding, or answer questions when they ask you a question. Turn off notification on your phone. Those of you who has phones that cannot sleep, every minute, you get messages, you get alerts, you get all kinds of things. On that day, please, the best is turn off notification or best turn off the phone so that you are not distracted during the interview. Okay. Find a good internet connection. Oh my God. Just this orientation, if you check on the various charts and the WhatsApp pages, I'm finding it difficult to connect. My internet connection is poor. I'm sorry, on the day of this, on the interview, that excuse will not help you. Okay? Thank you. That excuse will not help you. Prior to your Zoom interview, make sure you have a strong internet connection. Test your connection and where you plan to sit during your interview. If you can stream video or Zoom with other people, then you are likely to have a solid connection during your interview. By this time, you should have identified a spot in your home or in your office or wherever you work where the internet connection is the strongest. That day you have to sit on that, at that spot. Some of you, I know some of you work in areas where internet connection is bad. But once in your life, you may have to travel. The interview will not last more than 30 minutes. In fact, it's not more than 15 minutes. But 15 minutes to change your destiny for the rest of your life. Not just your life, but the rest of the generation after you. Because when you get a green card, you go to the US, you give birth there, your children become American citizens. The generation after you have a destiny change for them. Therefore, for once in your life, you may have to travel from your present location where you know the internet is bad to a different, better location. My nurses, most of my nurses serving in rural areas, travel to the nearby urban city where internet is good. Sit there, have your interview, 30 minutes maximum. You are done. You are gone. Okay. So please bear this in mind. When you come to the interview and your internet connection failed you, tell yourself you are failing the interview. Okay, let me say that again. When you come to the interview and your internet connection keep failing you, please know that you are failing the interview. So don't put yourself in such agonizing situation. Begin to find a location where the internet connection is good for you. Okay. Communicate with your household. If you live with other people, please let them know when and where you are interviewing. Right before your interview starts, remind them to give you space and keep a quiet volume until you are done. It's best that those you live with remain in a separate room than you, so you can stay focused. I remember a past interview, a woman was cooking, and she said she was in the interview. Gentleman came with his undergarment, singlet. I mean, all those people you can imagine fail their interviews. Wear professional attire. Dress exactly how you will during an in-person interview. So nurses, so this means you should wear clothes that are appropriate for your industry and make you feel confident. So nurses, midwives, wear your nurses attire, wear your midwifery attire. Doctors, wear your, what's the name of the doctor's attire? I don't know the name. Is it scrub? Scrub is for everybody, right? So whatever the name is, wear your doctor's attire. Physician assistants. Then non-health workers, teachers, okay, lab coat. Somebody said doctors wear lab coat. Thank you for that correction. Teachers and marketers and all the lawyers and all other professions wear their attire appropriate to your industry. We have a few security men. There are policemen, there are soldiers who are on this program. On the day of the interview, wear your professional dress. Okay, so if you are not a healthcare worker, whatever profession you are in, wear that profession dress. If you're a soldier, wear your the soldier attire you wear, the camouflage or whatever attire you wear. If you're a policeman in your country, wear the policeman's uniform in your country. Okay, so if you're a teacher, teachers don't have particular uniform, right? I don't know, teachers don't have a particular uniform. So dress appropriately as you would when you are going to an in-person interview. Okay. Then practice using Zoom. I think I've discussed this already. Practice using Zoom. Practice it, do a lot of Zoom meetings. Oh, Prince Prisla or anyone, please check your microphone. You keep saying you can't hear any sound. It's a problem with your phone or your device. Okay. So practice using Zoom. Use appropriate body language. During the interview, sit up tall with your hands on your lap or on a table and your feet on the floor. Whilst you speak, you may use your hand as well as if that's a natural part of you. As your interviewer speaks, use non-verbal cues such as nodding and smiling to show that you are listening. Those of you who look up to ceiling and to your shoes when they ask you a question, stop it. You will fail your interview if you do that. When they ask a question, look into the camera and answer. Okay. Yes, Priscilla, the interview can be done on phone, so you can hear me. And you said you can't hear me. You said no sound. Now you're going to ask your interviewer question. My dear friends, brothers and sisters here, you should never, ever, 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 ever say to the interviewer, when the interviewer asks you, do you have any question for me? Oh, no, I'm okay. I don't have any question. No way. You should ask your interviewer a question. Okay. Questions like, can you elaborate on the day-to-day responsibility of the job and of what the job entails? How would you describe the company's culture? What do you enjoy the most about working here? Prepare a list of questions you will ask the interviewer. But never, ever, ever ask the interviewer about his or her family, his or her children. Our last interview, we'll have somebody asking the interviewer, so how old is your last child? The interviewer was shocked. And she answered, oh, my last child had just completed the university. Oh, okay. Is she working? That's none of your business. Okay. Your question should be work related. Now, there are a list of commonly asked questions from the previous interviews I will be sharing with you. I will share those on the page, the WhatsApp page, so that you can use that to prepare yourself for the upcoming interview. But on your screen now are questions that they would definitely ask you, surely ask you. Question one would always be, tell me about yourself. If I should ask you now, tell me about yourself, what would you say? After that, they will ask, what do you consider to be your weakness? And there will be a series of questions, interactions from tell me about yourself. They will look at your resume. Oh, and a bit about resumes. Hey, my people, in today's day and age, you still prepare resumes or CVs and you don't put your passport picture on it. We have to tell you, put your passport picture on your own CV before you send. Hey, where have you been? The world is gone. Oh. We have received a number of your resumes without passport pictures. They are not acceptable. If you know your resume has no passport picture, please place a passport picture on it. An instance where somebody did not put a passport picture, we wrote back to the person, please put a passport picture on your CV. The person sent back the CV and a separate beautiful picture of her. Please, if you don't put your passport pictures on your resume, please stop. It's highly unprofessional these days. Now, to round up, we want to share with you, we have shared with you an idea of what organization United Methodist Addo-Yobo Recruitment Agency is, the kind of people we are looking for to recruit, an idea of the program, the process. It's a whole learning curve. You're going to learn a lot as you go along. We are recruiting nurses for registered nurse positions. We are recruiting nurses for nursing assistants and all other workers for nursing assistants. The program comes complete with a green card, a visa, air tickets for you, and then 2 months of housing in Chicago when you arrive. We're going to place you we're going to place you with either Chicago Methodist when you arrive or affiliated partners across 20 states in the United States. When you go, you will be serving a contract period of between 3 to 4 years. This contract period is to serve for that part of cost we'll be spending on you to take you to the US with a green card. Just to give you an idea, there will be a time for the cost and the breakdown after you pass your interview. But let me give you an idea. It costs us in excess of about $20,000 to send you on a green card to the United States. It costs about $20,000 to send you on a green card to the United States to work. Now, out of that, your fees for CNAs, nursing assistants, caregivers, it's about $7,000, which you are paying. And even that, we have the option for you to pay just half where you are, your home country, and then the other half when you get to the US, you deduct from your salary. So there's over $13,000 you are not paying, and that is what your future employer, United Methodist, will be sponsoring, will be paying for you, $13,000 plus. Now, we are not asking you to pay back that money, and we are not going to deduct that money from your salary. No. And that is the point Rose was stressing the previous orientation interview you saw. We're a not-for-profit organization, and therefore we don't seek profit. We don't ask you to pay back the $13,000 plus we have spent on you, but you're going to work to serve a contract period in place of paying back the $13,000 plus. For registered nurses, you will serve 3 years. For all other workers, nursing assistant, caregivers, you serve 4 years. Once you serve that, that is done. You'll be earning the same salaries as nurses in the US, no difference. So if in Chicago today, a nurse is paid $34 per hour, you earn the same $34 per hour. If in Chicago today, a CNA is earning $16 per hour, you earn the same $16 per hour, no deduction, except for the fee which you were not able to pay here to prepare you. Okay. And it's the reason you'll be serving a 4-year contract period. In Ghana, we call it bond. You serve a 4-year bond for nursing assistant, 3 years bond for registered nurses, and you are done. Okay. After you pass your interview, you will now be officially admitted into the program. Passing the interview guarantees funding $13,000 plus from United Methodist for your green card, for your visa, for your air ticket, and then 2 months of housing. That is when you get that sponsorship, if you pass the interview. If you are married, you have a spouse, if you are legally married, a spouse and children, they will all get the green card, the visas you are going with. Okay. Just that the applicant to go first. Everything is done and ready. You, the applicant, to go first. 3 months later, your family join you. Okay. Now, If you don't pass the interview, you have another opportunity to reapply. Rose, I see you will be in Ghana to do in-person interview, on-the-spot interview. And if at that time you have failed your interview, you can still have the opportunity to be interviewed by her. If you pass, you are gone. But if you still fail that interview, there will be another round of recruitment next year, 2025. You can still join. I mean, in your group now, there are some who failed last year's interview, they are here. So there is hope. Okay. On that note, I thank you for coming. I want to pause here and take your questions if you have any. We want to have an orderly discussion. So if you have a question, you raise your hand or you put it in the chat. You raise your hand, I'll call you and you ask. Or you ask your question in the chat. Thank you. Do you have any question? Okay, Raymond Bentum, your hand is up. Please unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. I'm grateful for the insight you've given us so far. Yes, and my question has to do with the email you sent us concerning the documents you have to for the interview. So
go ahead and ask your question.
I would like to, okay, so there's a portion about marriage certificates. Yes, for which mine will be ready by the ending of February. So I was wondering if I could send the other documents and later send that one, or I have to wait and send all together at the same time.
That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. And it's not just marriage certificate. I know a number of you who do not have passports yet. Wondering when you're going to ask that question. So those of you who do not have passports or marriage certificate or any other document, because of the deadline indicated, please submit whatever you have ready. Submit it whilst you work on the others and submit later. Now, for marriage certificate, if you are already married and your marriage is a legal one, not a traditional one, but once it's a legal marriage, whether it is a traditional marriage that is legalized, a Christian marriage that is legalized, or a Muslim marriage, an Islamic marriage that is legalized, they are all acceptable, provided you can produce a valid marriage certificate. So, Bentum, I wonder if I've answered your question.
Please, you have. I'm very grateful, sir.
You're most
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Richard Abuaji Nyaku, your hand is up. Unmute your microphone and speak.
Thank you once again, sir. Please, my question is, I want to know if we would receive another emails for a Zoom interview. And then also, I want to know the total band, the overall band score of IELTS score we need to be successful in this program. Thank you.
Richard, thank you for those two questions. Question one is, I've forgotten the first question. What was the first question?
I wanted to know if we would receive another email.
Okay, good.
For the interview.
That's a good question. We are going to prepare a schedule, but we are in the process of doing that. We're going to prepare a schedule with specific date and time. And before we do that, we'll call you. There will be a phone call to you wherever you are on this planet. We'll call you and agree with you a convenient time and date for your interview. We'll prepare a schedule and then we email the schedule plus a Zoom meeting link you'll be using for the interview. So please be on the lookout for that. That will happen in the coming week. Maximum the next 2 weeks, we should have called you and agreed with you a convenient time, date for your interview. The second question, Richard, IELTS. Now,
Yes,
by now
yes,
you all know that IELTS is a requirement of our program. We need your IELTS to get you something we call visa screen certificate, which we will take along for your visa interview. Now, if you have not written the IELTS yet, please don't rush and go and take it. Stop. Don't take the IELTS yet. If you have not written the IELTS yet, don't go and take the IELTS yet. The process of getting you to the United States is going to take a minimum of 2 years. If you write the IELTS now, it will expire before then. Your focus now should be on passing the interview, then go through the course, pass your exams as nursing assistant or as registered nurse, your NCLEX. Once you pass the two, we're going to prepare you and register you ourselves. We are a British Council IELTS partners. We are a British Council IELTS partners. We will train you, prepare you, and when the time comes, register you at the right time to take the IELTS. So the IELTS should not be your headache. Now, but to answer Richard's question, all RNs, registered nurses, will need to take IELTS academic, and the required band score is 6.5 or better overall. Yes, 6.5 or better overall band score, and 7.0 for the speaking test. For CNAs, for our nursing assistants, those of you who want to do nursing assistant and our caregivers program, your required band score is 6.0 overall or 6.5 speaking. 6.0 overall with 6.5 speaking. Okay. We would train you, register you at the right time so that you take the IELTS. So don't go and take the IELTS yet. Just be patient. Okay. Richard.
thank you, sir.
Have I answered your questions?
Yes, sir. I'm very much grateful. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Gifty Mumuni.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My question is, I want to know if there will be an in-person interview or it's only going to be online.
Okay, so there will be an in-person interview starting on the February 26th. February 26th, Monday, February 26th, 27th, 28th. And then that one will be in Kumasi. Another round of in-person interview on March 4, 5, and 6. No, I've turned it right. The other way around. March 4, 5, and 6, 2024 will be in-person interviews in Kumasi. February 26th or 27th, 28th will be, hang on a minute, let me get the dates right. So it's actually February 27th. Oh yes, 26th. So Monday, February 26th, Tuesday, February 27th, Wednesday, February 28th, there will be another in-person interview in Accra. It will be held at the British Council Auditorium in Accra. Monday, February 26th, 27th, 28th. In-person interview, British Council Hall, Accra. But by that time, you, this particular group, would have finished your interviews already because yours will be on Zoom. Unless you choose to wait for that in-person interview. But those who choose to go through the Zoom interview, you would have finished, you would have been admitted on the program. Admitted onto the program means you sign an employment contract, and then we'll enroll you on either the NCLEX or the CNA class. You start the course immediately you pass your interview. Okay. Gifty, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Let me see a couple of other questions. Agnes Odum. Agnes Odum, can you please unmute your microphone and ask your question? Agnes Odum, your hand is up. Okay, Agnes seems not to be with us. Somebody with the only name I see is iPhone. Who is having the iPhone? You have raised your hand. Do you have a question?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. What's your name?
Please, my name is Cynthia.
Cynthia, where you are is noisy. Please mute.
My name is Cynthia.
Please, Cynthia, please mute your microphone. Get out of the noisy area.
Okay.
Oh, we can hear plenty of people talking in the background. Okay, whilst Cynthia is getting a good place, Vera, your hand has been up for some time now. Ask your question, Vera.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Vera. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon. Anyway, I wanted to ask about the IELTS exam, but you already satisfied my question. You satisfied me already. You answered it already.
Okay.
And then I would also like to ask you this: what in case, like for instance, if I just got married recently, traditionally, so we are still to apply for the courses. So I don't know if I can send my documents once I have in hand. Send them now. Why waiting for that one for me to finish the process first?
Okay. Thank you. The person using Edem, you have been distracting us this whole afternoon. Anima to Kondo, you have consistently distracted us this afternoon. I am going to remove you if I hear one more sound from you. One more sound and you are out.
And said, please, I'm not done. Please.
Oh, you've been talking from your background. There's a feature called mute. Learn how to use it. Okay. Now, the question of marriage. You may not be married now, or you have been married traditionally and you don't have a marriage certificate. Or you are just a young man or young woman thinking of marriage 2 years down the line. From now until the time you leave when you marry and you can produce a valid marriage certificate.
Okay. Thank you.
We will accept it. We will accept it.
Regarding this amount, this money they said we will have to pay part of it. So when are we coming in? After the interview or after we must have gone through all the process before the money part is coming in?
No. The $7,000 you start paying after you pass your interview.
it's included with the IELTS and
Yes, it
the.
includes everything. IELTS, visa, air ticket, green card, everything. Everything is there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay. Plenty hands are up now. Okay, let me see. Let me go to the chat. A few comments in the chat. Let's see if we can answer that. Sir, in my resume, I didn't mention that I am married. I forgot to do so. Is it going to be a problem? Yes, Vera, it's going to be a huge problem. How can you start denying your husband now? If you are
No,
married,
I mean, no. I'm saying I did not mention because in regard I knew that I'm going to ask for the marriage certificate. It's the same thing I'm explaining to you. But traditionally, yes, and in the UAE, you have to apply first. You have to apply. You send a mail to them. If they approve, then you go for the signing like that.
yes, but your resume, you don't need to apply to include on your CV that you are married. Do you?
No, sir, you're right. That one is just a mistake. So when you spoke about that some people are not putting their passport size photo in their resume, that was when I thought that I did not. I go through my mind and I saw that I did not mention.
Good. So you
I'm
have
going to
to,
do that.
there will be an opportunity for you if you have not done the following on your resume, please do it. Because when we check your age, most of you are of the marriage age, but your resumes, your CVs are silent on your marital status.
Yeah, on my part, it was a mistake.
Not just you, Vera, but the 100+ applicants so far. On your CV, there's nothing like marital status. No children. So I
Yeah,
only know I am recruiting you alone, nobody else. Later when they come and with the cockaboo story, you see, I was married and I didn't have, but no, 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 no. So if you know you are married.
we need to mention in our resume the number of kids we
Yes.
have.
Put
Mashallah.
marital status, married. Number of
Okay.
children, 10. Put it there if you have 10 children.
And
Or
then
one.
say in a case where maybe you got married to a man, this man has 2 kids, and maybe you also have maybe your own 2 kids, and you mentioned that you have 4 or what?
Yes, you are married, you have 4 kids.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
My questions have been satisfied. Thank you.
You're welcome. We will need to know that now. We'll start planning for you. We need to make provision for their green card, for their visas, and what have you. We don't want last minute. Oh, sir, you see, I was married though, but I forgot to tell you from the beginning. What?
Okay.
Okay.
We are going to do that. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Then Eric Amponsan said, sir, please, in case one is not able to pass the interview, what's the way forward? You have, I think I've answered that. You have the opportunity to reapply. What is the band score for the IELTS? I've explained that. 6.5 for academic for RN and 6.0 for nursing assistant. Nursing assistant will do IELTS general. You will not do IELTS academic. IELTS general is registered nurse who will do IELTS academic. There are some who had already written the IELTS already. That's fine. As long as it is not expired, we'll accept it. But it cannot be a UKVI. So if you are written the IELTS and it is UKVI, that is not acceptable. We will not accept UKVI. UKVI means United Kingdom Visa and Immigration. Here, we're talking about the United States. You cannot take a UK visa to the United States. So if you are written UKVI, we will not accept it. Okay, then I have somebody by name Nessa. Who is Nessa? Who is Nessa? If you are Nessa, unmute your microphone and identify yourself. Victoria Sewa says, is there an age limit for this program? Yes. 39 years and down below, no 40 years and above. Jennifer says, please, can I get a recommendation letter from my previous employer if I'm not working now? Yes, you can do that. Nuhu Adam, will the NCLEX be written in whilst in Ghana? Oh my God. Nuhu Adam, NCLEX is not administered in Ghana. NCLEX is administered in South Africa. But for NCLEX applicants, we fly them to the Philippines 6 weeks ahead of their exams to take the NCLEX there. But NCLEX is never, ever, ever, ever written in Ghana. Somebody, Samsung A04. Please, do caregivers also need a nursing license? No, you don't need a nursing license if you're a caregiver. Samsung SMA037F. I wrote the IELTS. If I'm within the band score, do I need to rewrite again? No, you don't need to, provided it has not expired. Hamdia Isaka, please, what if you don't have money by then? I mean the 7,000. Will you help through when you get there, you can pay back? No. No. Hamdia, if you don't have money, please don't waste anybody's time. There are costs we need to incur here. You need to write the exams here, get the nursing license, the US nursing license, or be in a position to get it so that we can use it to file for your green card. So if you know you don't have money, please, as soon as you pass your interview, you must start paying. Please, I would like to ask if we can prepare and write the IELTS on our own. No, don't prepare and write the IELTS on your own. Wait, and the program will tell you when to do that. Seth Obin, please. I heard the Ghana embassy delays in the processing. Is it possible you can apply for us in a different country? Seth, when it comes to visa, that is not your headache. Your headache is preparing and passing the nursery exams here. Leave the rest to us. Wherever we get you the visa, leave it for us. Please, what of the individuals who have already written and passed the IELTS? I think I've answered that. Please, I'm a laboratory technologist. Will I need to be interviewed as nurses? No. Okay, so the interview, I've shown you the interview questions that will come. We are not going to ask you any question about nursing. Did you see any nursing question about in the interview? The sample question I showed you. There is no question about nursing. The interview is not to test your technical competence. The interview is to see if you are the right person for the job. Once you pass, you're going to be trained. Write the appropriate exams and get a license, or get the certification so that we can get you the license when you get to the US. Simple as that. If you are a nurse who already have a license in Ghana, you know that you cannot use that license to practice in a different country because the license is Ghana specific. It's the same way a United States nurse, registered nurse, cannot come to Ghana to practice because he or she does not have a Ghana nursing license. So it's not a question of competence, it's a question of law. The law does not allow that. So if you are dreaming to go to the US to practice on our program, we are recruiting for 2 positions, registered nurse, nursing assistant. You are interested in going, that's fine. But you need to get a license or be in a position to get a license when you get there. And for you to be in a position to get a license, you need to go through the 16 weeks training after after passing your interview. And you need to pay for it. You need to also write IELTS and pay for it. I cannot pay for you. You need to pay for it. Okay. Techno CK6, please, sir, 7,000 is too much for the pay. I don't think I understand your question. BB, thank you very much, sir. Please, do we need MOH clearance form? That's a beautiful question. Now, all registered nurses preparing for the registered nursing position, you would need to go through clearance. If you are in Ghana, you need to go through clearance. And we will do the clearance for you through Ministry of Health, and then the Nursing and Midwifery Council will do that for you at the right time. But all nursing assistants, you don't do clearance. You will not need clearance. Okay, so all CNAs, nursing assistants, caregivers, no clearance. Registered nurse clearance, yes. Okay. Then Saki Sally, please, when are we supposed to start paying $7,000? After you pass the interview, start paying bit by bit. Please, are we going to pay in dollars or cedis? And also, how will the medium of payment going to be done? You pay either in dollars or cedis, whichever you have, and there will be a bank account provided for that. Please, are we supposed to pay the $7,000 in full before we start the classes for the NCLEX? I don't think you have been listening. Those of you asking about the $7,000, I don't think you have been listening. I said for CNA, $7,000, you can pay half, $3,500 in Ghana, bit by bit. Other half you pay, and yes, you start paying before. Gabriel Kwache Dakwa, please mute your microphone. And Gladys, Gabriel Kwache Dakwa, mute your microphone. And Gladys, please, if I want to ask if after passing all the interviews and exams and you go to the embassy, can they refuse you there too? Oh yes, there's a point where you can be refused for the visa, but that is extreme. Remember, the visa we are applying for you is not a non-immigrant visa. This is an immigrant visa. An immigrant visa is employment backed. So before you even go for the visa interview, you already have something we call permanent labor certification, PEM, from the U.S. Department of Labor. The U.S. Department of Labor is the equivalent of Ministry of Labor and Employment. You give a document called PEM, and we use that PEM to file for your green card. So PEM, green card first, even before you go for your visa interview. So before we book you for the visa interview at the U.S. Embassy, we would have gotten your PEM, we have gotten your green card already. Now, on top of that, we'll get you one more document you have to take along for the visa interview to ensure, to guarantee you of passing. And that document is called Visa Screen Certificate. We'll get it from the U.S. State Department for you. The U.S. State Department is like Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the U.S. We give you a document to take along to the embassy for the interview. To get you that visa screen certificate, that is when we need your IELTS result. Okay, that is when we need your IELTS result to get you a visa screen certificate for you to send to the embassy for the interview to guarantee you a success for your visa. Now, Techno CK6A visa and other are inside the 7,000. Yes, everything, visa, air ticket, accommodation, green card, everything, the exams, the IELTS, everything is in that $7,000. Leila, please say, how much is $7,000 when converted to francs? Oh my God. What is the exchange rate between franc and dollar today, Leila? Get me the exchange rate. I'll be happy to calculate it for you. Benis, what if you are a widow? Because I am. Benis, If you're a widow, that is fine. You don't need to produce any marriage certificate. If you are single, you don't need to produce any marriage certificate. If you are divorced, you don't need to produce any marriage certificate. Okay? And even if you are married and you don't want to travel with your spouse, you don't need to provide any marriage certificate. You only provide marriage certificate when you want to travel with your spouse. Okay. Priscilla Ohenewa, please, I have a noisy. I want to know the total number of interviews will be 2. Priscilla, I don't understand your question. CK, there is no marriage certified. That is why we did put it there. I don't understand it. BB, please, for a diploma nurse going as a CNA, how long will it take to write NCLEX and convert it to RN in the United States? Oh, as soon as you get to the States. In fact, okay, good question. BB and all those listening, all those here and listening, when you go as CNAs, when you get to the US, we will register you to write the NCLEX there. Okay. So when you go, you start practicing as a nursing assistant, and then whilst going through the process, you write the NCLEX and you become an RN. Priscilla Amankwa, please, how long will the whole process take? Minimum 2 years. Jennifer Nyante Sechi, then please, I will have to resend my resume and put all my family requirements in it. That is fine. Please, what if you are state registered midwife and also have a certificate in nursing assistant and you decide to apply, but for CNA, would there be a problem? I don't think I understand your question. So for CNA, where are we to write the exams? Oh, good question. You come and write the exams in our office. You come and write our exams in our office. Please, can you include adopted children? No, but there's a way of dealing with adopted children. We'll talk about that later. So what if you give birth in the course of the recruitment? Would my child have that access to? Yes, as long as your child, yes, your child can be recruited. Please, would diploma nurse write NCLEX? Please read, are you new here? Read when you apply, the email will send you the exams. It's categorically stated that we reserve all our NCLEX program for degree nurses. Please, can I resend my resume and add information on family? Yes, you can. Please, what is the age limit for caregiver? 40 years. 40 years the age limit. Please, where will the CNA exams take place? Here in Ghana, in our office. Age limit again, 40 years. 40 years the age limit. Please, on my resume, I wrote top giver, but I told diploma in nursing. Will it affect me? Yes, it will affect you. Diploma in nursing is different from caregiver now. Please, what would be the mode of learning for training program and the IELTS? Will it be virtual or in person? Completely virtual. So please, what is the required bound score for the IELTS? I think I've answered that. In case you pass the NCLEX, can you still leave? Please, in case you don't pass the NCLEX, can you still leave? What kind of question is that? If you don't pass the NMC board exams here in Ghana, can you practice as a nurse? Sir, after our interview, are we going to sign a contract letter? Yes, along the line, you sign your contract. Please, what medical condition cannot permit an individual for the process? That's an interesting question. Okay. If you have any medical condition, you can tell me privately. But there are a number of things we will not allow, and the US government will not allow. In fact, one of the process, as part of the process, you do medical examination as part of the process. Please, can one use his or her NOVDEC certificate for the transcript if he or she did not complete school? Oh, if you did not complete school, you have to complete school. I think I've answered the age limit question already. Please, I'm an RN, but can I still choose to undertake the nursing assistant? Yes, you can do that. If you're an RN, you can easily choose to do the CNA program. In fact, because of pride, majority of you are not here. We had about 350 plus applicants. Majority of them wanted to take the NCLEX assessment exams and they failed. It never dawned on them they can change to CNAs. Please, when I have a young brother depending on you, can add him? No, you cannot. Today is like 1.2 million. What is that? Okay, I think I've answered most of the questions in the chat. I see Didra here. Hello, Didra.
There's this Cameroon lady that asked how much is the money, the $7,000 in Cameroon safer. So I mean to say it's 1.2 billion in Cameroon safer.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Didra. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to introduce my colleague, Didra. Didra, can you on your mic, your camera? We can see you.
Oh, okay.
There you are. Hello, Happy New Year. In a while.
Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So how are you?
I'm doing good. We thank God.
Okay, thank God. So Didra is one of our course instructors. She's been teaching the CNA program. So those of you who are doing the nursing assistant program, when you pass your interview, she will be teaching you.
Amen.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay. And oh, who is sharing the screen? Oh, somebody is sharing the screen. Please stop sharing your screen. Okay. So Didra, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you for everything you guys have been putting in place. And thank you for the opportunity too that you guys are bringing to Africa. We really appreciate it.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Didra knows our CEO very well, Rose. She had worked with her in the past. Oh, and
yes.
I'm still working with her in other forms. So thank you for joining us. Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I see a number of hands up. Do you still have questions to ask, or you have asked all your questions already?
Yes, sir, please, I have one last question. Raymond speaking.
Okay.
Yes, please, concerning the recommendation, I currently work with an engineering company as an assistant engineer. So in the email you sent us stated that you should get, if you are working, you should get a recommendation from your employer. So I just want to know, I applied for the CNA program. So should it be, the recommendation be structured towards that angle, or just a general recommendation about my, let's say, work staff and all that? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so a recommendation letter is a letter like a testimonial about you, your character, who you are, where you are working, and your work ethics. So it doesn't matter where you work. It need not be in a health facility. You are working in engineering, get a recommendation letter from there. You're working in law, get a recommendation letter from there. You're working in banking, get us a recommendation letter from there. A recommendation letter need not come from a health institution. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Adam, your hand is up. Do you have a question?
Yes, please.
Go ahead and ask.
Good afternoon. Please want to know if we can use the English proficiency from our school. And then the second question is, I'm 39 now and I've applied. So as you said, it's a minimum of 2 years. If by the second year or 1 year, by the first year or second year, I'm 40 years, I might still qualify because by then I will start paying. And the third question is, the questions you gave us as a clue for the interview. If they ask, what are your weaknesses or your professional achievements, if you can give us a clue on what we should say. Thank you.
All right, so we are recruiting you age 40 and below now, not in the future. So if you are 40 years or below that now, you qualify. Next year, if you become 100 years, nobody's business, but you have to be 40 years and below now. And your second question about question and answers for the interview, I'll probably post some likely answers on the page for you. Okay. Any other hand again? Does anybody have a question?
About the English proficiency.
The what?
English proficiency from our school.
Oh, sir.
English proficiency.
Yes.
Yes, what about it?
Instead of writing the IELTS, can we use the English proficiency for it?
No. We don't want a local English proficiency test. The US government will not accept it. These are immigration things. These are laws, okay? So,
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Mr.
Yes.
David.
Joel, hold on. Yes.
Please, I've positioned myself for this, Cynthia.
Okay, ask your question. Cynthia, ask your question.
Okay, please. I wanted to know if within the course of these 2 years, I'm married and hello.
We are listening.
Sir, please, if in the course of the process, in the course of the process, I should give. Does the child also have an advantage of going with me now?
Cynthia, I don't think you have been listening. Wherever you are had distracted you a lot. We have answered those questions again already. And the answer is yes to both questions. Marriage during the process, childbirth during the process. Yes. Okay, we have answered that already. Joel, what's your question?
Yeah, Mr. David, thank you very much for those insights. I wanted to know whether we'll receive a reply on the documents we sent, the CVs, and then the transcripts. Are we going to reply? Are we going to receive a reply on those documents?
Yes, but the reply will not be what you are expecting. A time will come, the document as presented, I mean, is so lazy. Send us your document. Some of you took phone pictures. The pictures are so ugly. I mean, are you guys serious? We are sending documents to the United States government for a green card for you. And you take pictures with your phone. They are not even properly formatted. You will see either your shirts in the background. No. There will be a time we'll take you through how to do those documents properly. Then we'll structure them nicely. You will do it. Okay? And send us document. I mean, as for emailing skills is horribly low. I mean, I don't know if we have to do a class on how to email. You email as though you are chatting on WhatsApp or you are chatting on social media. It's so horribly bad. Send us an email with all the attachments. Akosia will send one email with a passport, another email with the transcript, another email with the WASI certificate, another. I mean, so jammed up, as if it's a child's play. And worst part, when you send an email, you don't even add a message. So we just need to look at the email and we know, oh, it's coming from so and so, and he's submitting his document towards interview. Do you know how many emails we receive in a day? Thousands of them. And your email comes with just a picture. Just post the mail like that and it's gone. And then that person will be, oh, I have submitted my CV and my document, I have not had any feedback. It will take time for us to respond to those emails. An email is like a formal letter you are sending. It's not social media chat. Okay.
Okay, Mr. David, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does traveling with a family member include a sibling?
No.
Okay.
It's strictly you and your dependents. Your dependents here are your spouse and your children. That is it. Okay. I believe we
Sir, please, one last question.
Okay, one final one.
Yes, sir. Please, in connection with, I spoke to you some few hours ago before the meeting. I registered for a sister, but then when I go back to apply again as you instructed, the system tells me I've already submitted the form. You advised me to clear my history and my cache and my browser. You use different browsers, yet I get the same response. So I don't know if there's another alternative.
Use a different device, a different laptop, a different desktop.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, on that note, we thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for your time, for your contribution. In the coming days, we'll start calling and scheduling for the interviews. Thank you and goodbye to you all. Deidra, goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your effort, the time, and everything. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Welcome. You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Thank
Deidra,
you,
thank
sir.
you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye to you all.
Goodbye, sir.